Hello and welcome back to the Girl About the Globe podcast. It's been a few months, and obviously with all the travel restrictions and the global pandemic, it just hadn't felt like the right time to launch into season 4 to try and inspire people to travel solo with so many travel restrictions. So I'm so happy to be back, and it's June and season 4 is going to be more of destination podcasts to try and give you a bit more insight into solo travel in different continents and different countries as well. If you're looking at going to North America, maybe just for domestic travel at the moment, if you are American, we have some podcast episodes already. So check out the ones for North America, Greece, Oceania, Dubai, Central America, Malaysia, Taiwan, Scotland. I'm sure there are plenty others as well. But for this season 4, I'm going to kick off episode 53 with a destination that most of us would probably want to go to, and it's probably on our travel wish list. And that is the icy continent of Antarctica. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Girl About the Globe, a podcast for you, the solo female traveller, empowering women to travel solo with maximum adventure, minimum impact. So Antarctica is not usually the destination that you'll see on top of most people's bucket lists. As the most southern continent, Antarctica is not a destination that is easily accessible to travellers. Being the coldest continent on Earth doesn't really sell itself as a tourist destination either. There are no cities here, just research stations with a tiny population, and although tourism is increasing, Antarctica remains barely untouched by it and is abundant in stunning scenery and wildlife. You can even camp under the stars, waking up to beautiful icebergs and spotting seals and penguins. The majority of your time in Antarctica may be spent at sea, as only a small number of people are permitted to land at any time. So you may be on the continent for a few hours each day. Sightseeing by air is an option when you arrive, but it does cost a small fortune. If you want to go somewhere that hardly anyone or even none of your family or friends have been, choose Antarctica. Visit between November to March when the midnight sun appears. You won't be alone here, as you need a tour to visit the continent, so you'll be guaranteed company if you travel here. It is expensive to visit. As a once-in-a-lifetime experience, it is definitely worth it. You can even camp under the stars, waking up to beautiful icebergs and spotting seals and penguins. The only way to see this continent is on a cruise, and if you can survive the seas, you will be one of the lucky ones to have visited this breathtaking place. Drake Passage is known as one of the world's roughest seas, so take plenty of seasickness tablets if you suffer from travel sickness. Ships range from smaller vessels with up to 100 passengers to those carrying over 1,000 people, and include guided hikes and sea kayaking, with the smaller ships able to get you closer to the nature. Sailboats offer voyages from South America where you can get involved and help support private expeditions. Once you get there, you can take a helicopter ride for an even more breathtaking view of icebergs, wildlife and volcanoes. Observation Hill gives a great viewpoint of Mount Erebus, which is the second highest volcano in Antarctica and an active one. If you've ever wanted to send a postcard from a cool destination, you can send one from the postbox at Port Locker Museum, which is one of the most popular tourist attractions here. Cruise ships depart from as far as Hobart and Bluff in Australasia, or Punta Arenas in Chile, and Ushuaia in Argentina. Sightseeing by air is another option, but it is expensive. The majority of your time may be spent at sea. You need to allow more than a week for a cruise, but if you have longer to spare, you can always combine your trip with the South Shetland Islands or the Falkland Islands, which is a British archipelago in the South Atlantic Ocean. Highlights: take a helicopter ride for a breathtaking view, marvel at the icebergs, spot the penguins, send yourself a postcard from the Port Locker Museum, bathe in a hot spring on Deception Island, view Mount Erebus from Observation Hill. For itineraries, you do need to allow more than 1 week for a cruise. From 2 weeks, you can go from Argentina to Antarctica, beginning in Ushuaia, embark across the Drake Passage, South Shetland Islands, Drake Passage, and then back to Ushuaia. 3 weeks, you can combine Argentina with the Falkland Islands and Antarctica. Begin in Montevideo in Uruguay, then embark for the Falkland Islands, South Georgia, South Shetland Islands, then Ushuaia. Useful websites for Antarctica are G-Adventures, Hurtigruten and Oceanwide Expeditions.
I hope that this podcast episode has inspired you to want to visit Antarctica. If it has, you can find out more details on how to do this on the Solo Travel in Antarctica guide on the Girl About the Globe website.
Thanks for listening to our Girl About the Globe podcast, making solo travel easier for you. Find everything that you need for your solo travels at girlabouttheglobe.com and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode.